Alright folks, welcome to episode 34 of the wee podcast. Phil here with Clarky.
Hello.
We're going to talk about time travel today, and by the time you listen to this it'll be on Friday. And we're going to talk about the science behind time travel. Well, Clarky is, because that's his sort of part. Yeah. And we're going to talk about the fun sort of side, and see some sort of urban myths, as I would like to call them anyway. But hope you enjoy this one, folks. Let's go. Time travel and Clarky.
Mm-hmm.
Do tell.
Yeah, so I love
I'll
definitions. Yeah. So time travel is just defined basically as a concept of movement between certain points in time and also movement between different points in space by an object or person, typically using a hypothetical device known as a time machine.
Time machine though, it could be anything. It could be a time remote.
Could be.
Time Darth Vader.
I'm glad you've said that, because time travel is widely recognised. It's a concept that's widely recognised in both philosophy and fiction. The first actual idea of a time machine as such was in 1895. So it was h.g.wells in the book The Time Machine. Little on the nose, but there you are.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not going to bring around the bush, like, is he?
No, this is what this is about. There you go, that's
Time travel straight to it. It's going to be a machine.
But basically,
well, I don't know what a time travel machine would look like as well.
Again,
Would it be like the one from Family Guy, where it's a little pad that pops out of the school bag, and it goes.
Yeah, or his big one that he has,
or his
big machine that you walk
yeah.
into, or could it be like the one in Harry Potter where she has the time turner?
Yeah.
Turns that, or
could it be like
DeLorean?
Or could it be like Doctor Strange?
Oh yeah.
Scary.
Interesting.
Where you just do that with your hands.
Yeah.
And it changes the time.
Yeah, it puts it back.
What do you reckon he does it with his clocks in his house?
Well, he did it with Thor's beer.
Oh yeah, that's right. He filled it up, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he brought it back.
Yeah, but he filled it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, but it's just mad.
Be amazing though, wouldn't it? If it
Yeah.
Could you imagine not having to go to the bar all the time to go?
Another.
Happy days.
But it only turns back the beer. It doesn't turn back what is in you, which is the weird thing.
Yeah.
It's not like I remember watching whenever I was a kid. Whoa, this is just completely randomly came back to my mind.
Ooh.
Do you remember Fairly Odd Parents?
Oh yes.
There's Dexter's Lab. It was
Yes,
Dexter's Lab.
Yeah.
It was an episode where he invented time travel, and I think Dee was his sister.
Yeah.
She was using it. She'd somehow got it, and he had eaten a big like foot long sub, and like he'd eaten it all, and it was like nom 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 all in his mouth. And then she used it, and it came like back out again onto the table. But it was like completely normal. But obviously he was then feeling that come back out. Weird.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That is vile.
But
I always thought his accent was weird in that show.
When he talks, I like this.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
What a great show.
Yeah,
But
don't get that anymore.
basically the bit of a disclaimer. No one actually knows if it's possible to travel backwards in time.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Yet. We don't know.
No, it is. You just get a flight and then go over to America and then you're sweet.
Aye, but you're still in the same time. You are. Because then by the time if you
if you're at 7 o'clock, get over there at 7 o'clock. I just went back in time.
I always find that strange, but that's why you get jet lagged. So you haven't really went back in time. You're still moving at like hours.
Yeah,
at
but
a
you're
time.
still back in time. Literally back in time.
But not really.
No, literally, you are for what we know as measured time, as we are back in time.
You're not. You're moving time zones. Time is still going, but you're just going to a different time zone.
Yeah, so it's different time.
It is a different time. Yeah. But that's like saying people in LA right now are time traveling because they're behind us.
No.
Yeah.
That's just because they're currently at that time period. But see if they were to go over to here, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead of time here and be like
forward in time.
Yeah.
Well, not really, because we're nowhere near as technologically advanced in old Belfast.
Well, yeah, I suppose in that sense, like. But then you go to London.
Yeah, well, no, still no.
London's like it's weird.
I don't like London.
Neither do I. To be fair,
it's all right, but
no,
it's not my favorite place in the world. But that's just because I'm a LA fanboy. But that's just me.
I don't really like London anyway.
Well, no, fair enough. But equally...
No offense, Lauren.
Yeah, sorry, Lauren. No,
Talk about your country.
equally, they say that forward time travel, outside the usual sense, now this is actually written here, the usual sense of the perception of time, so outside of what you're saying, is extensively observed and well understood within special relativity and general relativity. We'll get onto those later on. But basically, making one body advance or stop for more than a few milliseconds is not actually feasible with what we currently have technologically right now.
But you like warp yourself.
Yeah, like essentially we just don't have it. But like essentially what they've sort of said, and again part of the disclaimer, is that it's possible to find solutions that potentially allow for backwards time travel, but currently we just don't know because we haven't found it.
It's always nice thinking about these things, isn't it? It's always having a theory of things. It
is, and basically we're going to be talking about space-time a lot, so I think we should probably define that now and just get that out of the way. So space-time, it's a term from physics, literally is any mathematical model that fuses the 3 dimensions of space with the 1 dimension of time, so space-time, into basically 1 4-dimensional continuum. So that's what that is. Just we're talking
that's
about
where
that.
The space-time continuum comes from.
Literally. So it is literally the 3 space, the 1 time, and then that makes
they all meld together as 1 unit to create.
More or less. More or less. But we're also
when you say we're going to talk about it, we're going to touch on it because
exactly.
Like we've always discussed in every single episode, we never have the time.
No.
If only we had a time machine.
We could go back and be like, you forgot to say this.
Yeah.
But
that'd be so good. We could go back to episode 1 and just do it properly this time.
Yeah, let's take out the poor audio here, fellas. Let's get this sorted.
The echo. Imagine coming back and talking to ourselves in a podcast.
Oh my.
That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
Don't do episode 50, by the way. Why? Oh, you'll find out.
We can't tell them that. But
that'd be so funny.
That'd be great. But basically, in terms of space time, as I say, it's basically possible to travel to an arbitrary point in space time, but there's not much support for it in theoretical physics right now.
20 years time, give it that.
Really, the travel within space time is only really connected in quantum mechanics or wormholes, which we'll touch on in a bit, which are also known as Einstein-Rosen bridges.
Einstein-Rosen bridges?
Yeah.
That'd be an awesome name to have.
It's in Thor.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
That's how they do the... Anyway, we'll not get into comics just yet either.
Oh, I'm Einstein-Rosen bridges.
But basically...
Dave for short.
But basically, it's... What I found very interesting was how even in ancient myths, like, I mean, this is like going way back. One example is...
Way back to 1690.
No, even further.
Yeah.
But in ancient myths, there does tend to be characters that skip forward in time. So in Hindu mythology, there's the Mahabharata. This is a nightmare.
We always do this.
I know. Mahabharata, I think that's how you say it. But basically, it mentions the story of a king.
Just cursed in Hindu there.
Mentions the story of a king, so it's called King Kakadumi, who travels to heaven to meet the creator, called Brahma. And he's surprised to know that when he comes back to Earth, actually many ages have passed.
Yeah.
So again, whenever we touch on relativity, it's sort of on the nose. It's weird how close that is to what people are coming up with. In the Buddhist Pali Canon, it mentions the relativity of time. So basically, there's a person in it called the Payasi Sutta, or the Payasi Sutta, tells of the Buddhist chief disciple called Kumara Kassapa, who experiences the skeptic Payasi. So that's the tale, in which he goes to the heaven. The Payasi basically tells him that time in heaven or in the heavens passes differently than on Earth.
Yeah. Which would be weird, wouldn't it?
Which is probably
20 years up there is like a day here.
Yeah, which is probably why they're like live forever as such. They just time's different. Weird. There's that. Japanese tale called of Urishara Taro. Basically, it was written in 720
Right.
AD, so very, very old. It tells of a young fisherman called Urishima Taro, if you can believe it, who visits an undersea palace, and after 3 days he comes back to his village and it's gone 300 years in the future.
I wonder what that would look like.
So basically he went back to his house is wrecked, everyone he knows is dead, and nobody knows he even existed.
It'd be strange here, because if we were to do that, well, maybe not 300 years, but even like 100 years, or maybe even 300, I don't know.
Yeah, if you think 100 years ago to 1918,
Yeah.
completely different.
Well, so you see all the photos and all on Facebook and that postcard things and all.
Yeah.
It's crazy, like Belfast in 1928.
Looks completely different.
So strange. But
Yeah.
then the 300 years in the future, all of this could be underwater.
Well, the way we're going, yeah, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
But
we could be Atlantis.
can you imagine? That'd be weird.
Come back to this house being completely underwater.
Or just not here. And what
I'd
do you do?
probably still be here.
But the final one is Jewish, first century BC scholar H.g.wells Miguel is said to have fallen asleep and slept for 70 years.
No, well,
When he
I'm sure
woke
we all
up-
felt like that sometimes.
I wish I could fall asleep for 70 years. When he woke up, he returned home but knew nobody and no one knew him, basically.
That would be terrible as well. Going to sleep and then waking up and having. Could you imagine that? Just be like, maybe. Do you know what would happen? No, it wouldn't work actually.
But what you'll notice is, as they start to sort of swap into science fiction, so, science fiction and time travel started, basically like hundreds of years ago. Like the first one that I came across was, from 1770. And what you'll notice is every single one of these stories that I mentioned, the character falls asleep and then wakes up way later on in a changed society, or they're asleep and then transported to the past or the future in some sort of supernatural way.
Maybe they're just cryogenics.
They slept
just
really,
cryogen
really
themselves,
cold.
yeah.
But
Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, it could have been homeless people.
the one written in 1770 is a French title. I'll butcher it, but I'll try it anyway.
Oh dear.
It's L'an 2440, Réveil en fut jamais, by Louis Sébastien Mercier.
You just swore in French there. Is
And
that?
the next sort of one after that's Rip Van Winkle. Everyone knows him.
Yeah.
1819. There's a couple of other ones for like Looking Backward, 1888, and When the Sleeper Awakes in 1899, and that's an h.g.wells book.
Yeah.
So as you can see,
He's
he sort of
pretty-
liked.
Pretty famous as well
Yeah.
for time travel.
So he wrote actually another time travel book before actually bringing in the time machine.
Yeah.
So there's ones that go sort of further back still. So 1733. Now this one here is insane. Like it's basically, this is about, those other ones are about forward time travel.
Yeah.
These ones are about backwards time travel.
Okay.
So the first book, basically one of the earliest works, is from 1733. That's from Steve Madden's Memoirs of the 20th Century, it was called. So it was written in 1733, so what, 250 years before the 20th century. It's basically a series of letters from British ambassadors in 1997 and 1998 to diplomats in 1733.
Yeah.
So basically what they're then is saying is, this is the political and religious conditions of 98, basically, and this is what you're living with in 1733. But basically the narrator of the story gets them from a guardian angel as such, and basically is never explained how the angel even gets the documents, but that is still communicating from 97 back to 1733.
Yeah.
Which is pretty mad if you think about that. That's like so long ago. Why would anybody think that was
Strange as well, thinking that even in 1733 that 1987 is even a thing.
Yeah, that it was ever gonna even exist.
So long away, it's never gonna happen.
Exactly.
Just like we think, like
2075 is so far away.
The year 3000 busted, ain't gonna happen.
Should. But there's other wee ones as well. I suppose we'll just go for the big one. A Christmas Carol, written in 1843, Mr. Charles Dickens. It has depictions of time travel in both directions: Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future.
Yeah.
So he basically falls asleep, or goes to bed anyway, and then the ghosts come and show him, this is what happened then, and this is what's going to happen in the future. Spoiler alert, just watch it, won't say anything else.
Or don't watch it because it's terrible.
Yeah. But basically, yeah, I mean, they've been around for hundreds of years.
You could even say the beginning of time.
Good, good. One of the first, well, they did say ancient mythological, so literally recorded time, probably. So there's early time machines I've mentioned. All of those so far are just like sleep. So the first ever sort of time machine as such was 1881 in a book called The Clock That Went Backward. Ho-ho.
Scary biscuits.
Again, a bit on the nose, but there you are.
Yeah.
By a guy called Edward Page Mitchell. Basically, it's an unusual clock. You wind it and you go back to whatever time you've just wound it to.
Or in turn, you could just have Bernard's watch, which just stops time.
Oh, how good was that show?
Yeah, good.
How good was that? And do you remember the guy who used it to rub things and he got it taken off him?
Yeah.
So
I'm
good.
sure it changed as well. It used to be a fella and it changed to a woman as well.
Did it?
Yeah.
Didn't remember that.
I don't know.
Was her name Bernard?
No, I think her name was Beatrice.
Oh dear.
Beatrice watch.
Yeah, don't remember that. I must have stopped after it got away from Bernard a bit. Queen's Nose was another one.
Maybe that was the right one.
Do you remember that one? Queen's Nose, where you rub the wee coin, you get a wish.
You get a wee wish, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. So basically, h.g.wells was the first person in the time machine in 1895. So, 14 years after, the clock went backward. He was the first person to actually, they bring in a machine as such. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna twist this clock and then everything goes,
Because that's what happens whenever you go through time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Some guy just goes.
Am I there? Yes.
Yep. Just turn around.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But basically, that's where it sort of started.
I think it's really mad to think about that sort of stuff. And we're sitting talking about it in 2018.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and that's going from right the way back to sort of late 1800s. So if your mind's blown there, we're about to get into the.
But then again, that could just all be because, like it says before, like about past and stuff. It could just be a thing that we don't even know. We don't know if it's real or not.
Well, that's it.
Some guy could have just wrote that yesterday on Wikipedia or something. You know what I mean? You never know.
No, I know it's true. It is true. Obviously, these books exist, so we do know that.
Could have wrote them
himself. I put it like 100 years ago. No, they've been out.
Maybe people have a machine that just does it like that. And we don't know.
Could. That's probably another conspiracy theory episode.
Oh no.
But basically, all those things that I've just spoken about are all fake, and all what people have made up. So
it takes a big imagination to do that, though.
Yeah, it does, because whenever you actually get into the real physics of it, so time travel and physics is like,
it's a mess.
It gets messy. Yeah, I mean, basically, we mentioned earlier about special and general relativity. They basically both say that if there's suitable geometrics within space-time or specific types of motion within space, so in other words, if you go a certain way around a certain thing, potentially you can go back in time.
Like Superman?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's a lot to do with the speed of light, which is, I think, as far as I remember, 300 million meters per second, I think. Basically, a lot of the papers that are discussed amongst physicists basically discuss the possibility of a closed time-like curve. So basically, it's like a closed loop within a space-time that you can go back to any point in your life that you've already been in.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So it's like a closed loop. You can only go within that state.
Yeah.
You can't go without it. But there are, to back that up, there are actual like proven theories or solutions, to the equations of the general relativity theory that could potentially happen. But whether it's physically capable is another thing. But they've basically theorized and got solutions to their theories. We'll say again at this point that a lot of the scientific community don't even believe that it's possible to go backwards, which is a shame, because that would be pretty cool. But
well, we'll get to the pros and cons of that later on anyway.
Yes, we will. But and also some pretty class urban myths.
Yeah, some of them would be strange.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's not rude, no. That's a bit of fun.
That's the fun part.
Yeah. But
well,
basically,
we'll have to wake them up though whenever.
Obviously.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, we'll just do a big scare, a big jump scare. You awake? You still with us? Yeah.
But basically, if you could go back in time, if we were to allow time travel, it would cause potential issues within causality. So, or problems, of causality. So basically, it brings in this nice little paradox called the grandfather paradox.
Would you call it a nice paradox? I think
It's
paradox
it's a lovely
bad.
thinker. It's it's just insane whenever you think.
Whenever you think about it, it's all cool, but then whenever you actually say, well, paradox is pretty bad because it's never going to be good for you.
You could just never get out of it. So basically, the grandfather paradox is: what if you were to go back in time, kill your own grandfather before your father was conceived?
Scary.
Is that even possible? Because if you've killed your granddad, your dad never exists. How do you exist?
Yeah.
To then go back to kill your granddad.
Alternate universe.
So there's another whole
honestly, you've no idea.
String theory there.
No idea.
But
imagine hopping like Looper.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopping through different.
No.
Be mental.
But basically, that's the nice wee thinker. So enjoy that one. Basically, the grandfather paradox. You want to learn a bit more about it? Go ahead, look it up. So general relativity. We mentioned, a couple of times, but I'll tell you a bit more about what it actually is. So basically, it can potentially make time travel theoretically possible to the past.
Yeah.
Depending on general relativity within space-time geometries that we've mentioned. So basically, if you can go faster than the speed of light, so if you were to go through, for example, a wormhole, which we'll touch on, the theory of general relativity suggests that you would actually have the scientific basis to go backwards in time in unusual scenarios. So, but they would need to. There's a lot that needs to be proven for this. Just to literally say, yeah, we can definitely do that at some point. But essentially, Stephen Hawking has come up with what's called a chronology projection conjecture, which suggests that basically the fundamental laws of nature means that we physically cannot go back in time. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
But nobody can really
disprove it
or prove it. But basically, it can be proven if theory of quantum gravity joins quantum mechanics and general relativity into one unified theory. If we can do that, then we can crack time travel, one way or the other, if it's doable or if it isn't.
It's always good that people just say these things. They're like, well, if we do this and do that, we'll definitely crack it.
Yeah.
Do it then.
One way or the other, it's doable. Basically, we'll figure it out.
I think they might mess if anybody discovered time travel because they'd probably sell it.
Yeah. So like, this is going to be the last sort of real big sciencey thing, but I mentioned wormholes as a method of doing this.
Yeah.
So basically, first of all, what is a wormhole?
Very small in the ground, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know how you fit in those.
No idea. But you're probably gonna be towing
it. Basically, a wormhole. First of all, it's hypothetical that we've never been able to find one, or make one. But it's essentially a hypothetical warped space time, it's based within general relativity again. So essentially, you could time travel through time travel could go through a traversable wormhole. So basically, you would have one side. It's almost like a tube. So like one side of your wormhole is where you go in, and the other side is where you would come out.
Yeah, it's like those little dog things at
pretty much. Yeah. So like if you were to go through.
Sometimes you go through them, you do come out somewhere else completely. It's crazy.
You do, the other side of the garden.
I know.
But the dogs go, oh,
what?
But if you start at one end, and if you hit with some sort of mad rocket or propulsion system, I don't know, it doesn't exist, but basically it would send you to a significant fraction of the speed of light, so say like half, so ridiculously fast, then you would be brought back round to where you started. So as you say, like a tube, say if you were to do it in almost like a circle, but the ends cannot touch.
Yeah,
they have to be all like sort of like an earring with the bit that would go through your ear missing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
if it was like a hoop earring. basically you get brought back there, and that would relatively
send you back in time.
Send you back in time. Now, another way to do it is if you were to get a wormhole and put it close to something that has a higher gravitational pull than it does, then basically if someone was to watch you go in, essentially they would, oh, this is where it gets really confusing, but basically if they were to watch you go in, you would come out younger than they are watching you.
Yeah.
So basically it's called this thing called time dilation, where you will have aged, say for example you're in there for what feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You could come out the other end and the other person could have
maybe.
aged like 10 years.
Yeah.
But just because you have been in this, your time is slowed down, sped up massively for you in there, but you have not aged because you're within that particular time. But anyway, basically time is different in the wormhole than outside it, but if you were both to be wearing a watch, synced up, so you went in at 1 o'clock and you came back out at 10 past 1, even though it had been 20 years or whatever it was on the outside and 10 minutes on the inside, your watches will still match.
Yeah.
Just obviously his might break or whatever, hers might break. But like,
it's broken.
Essentially they will, no matter how long you're in there, they will always stay the same, basically.
Yeah, it's really weird to think
which is
about.
Just crazy.
Imagine coming out and then hit like them turn around and you're like, hello. Like,
yeah.
What?
Like in Interstellar.
Yeah. I mean that film's just gonna be one of the top films for me for.
Oh, it's amazing, absolutely amazing.
If you haven't watched it, go treat yourself.
Yeah, and also if you haven't watched it, there's a little, or if you have watched it, there's a little bit where they land on this water planet, and if you listen to the music, there's like little like
a clock ticking.
Yeah, like clicks. I only learned this fact the other day, but basically
I learned it today. So.
Yeah, and it's class.
I'm a new learner.
But basically, if every single time you hear a little click, it's 1 day passing in the ship that's above. So whenever he gets back, he thinks it's been like, a few hours or whatever. It's been like 10 years. If you count the amount of clicks on the way through that, Christopher Nolan's a genius because it actually works out as the same amount of days as they were on the planet per click.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Just the music in the background.
Yeah.
Really, really subtle, but really cool. But so wormholes. So basically, there's theories that we can make them ourselves.
Wormholes?
Yes.
Yeah, with a massive amount of energy.
Yeah, it's basically we would need.
Yes.
We would need a thing called negative energy.
Well, just bring you there in your.
Yeah, pretty much. I got this. No.
Whoa! He's radiating negative energy. Too much.
But it's often referred to as what's called exotic matter, but basically
it's a weapon in Destiny, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be. But basically you need null energy, we need weak, strong and dominant energy conditions and negative energy. So there's a lot in there. But basically they believe that we can actually make the negative energy, but it's actually quite small. It's
you can amplify it then?
Well, yeah, I mean, whenever you make it, it would be like massive, even though it would create a massive amount of energy. It would be quite small, sort of like whenever you split an atom and it explodes.
Yeah.
But basically, the Casimir effect it's a quantum physics theory essentially that we could totally do this, and early calculations within trying to figure out how to do this showed that we would need like loads of negative energy, but then later on they did new calculations. They were like, actually we wouldn't actually need that much because it's so powerful.
Just put it in a microwave.
Yeah.
Radiate it.
In 1993 there's a guy called Matt Visser, and he argued that you could never push together two sides of a wormhole, so you couldn't have like a complete tube all the time, complete circle, because it would either collapse and destroy everything inside it, or it would just push each other apart. They just physically
like
couldn't be pushed apart. so he thought that in 1993, he thought they couldn't be brought together close enough for us to be able to actually get back to have any real effect with causality anyway.
Yeah.
Basically, in 1997, though, the same guy, Matt Visser, hypothesized that what's called a Roman ring, which is named after a guy
That'd be terrible for you as a kid, wouldn't
a
it?
woman wing. But a guy named Tom Roman, that's just named after. Basically, it's a configuration of an n number of wormholes, so a random whatever number of wormholes arranged in a symmetric polygon, and could still act as a time machine. But that's more likely. Basically, he concludes in that paper that I'm saying it's possible, but it's more than likely that it's actually a flaw in classical quantum gravity theory rather than proof that causality violation is actually possible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the science, pretty much.
That's the science behind all the fun, basically.
Yeah, and a lot of what you're like, everyone knows a lot of the famous time travelers in like films and whatever. Who's the first one that pops out in your head?
Time travelers?
Yeah.
For me?
Yeah.
Doc Brown.
Doc. First one. Nice. First one on the list was Doc Emmett Brown from Back to the Future. So basically he built the time machine at DeLorean. And
maybe the DeLorean built the time machine out of him.
Who knows?
Scary biscuits.
But yeah, basically
it's not Russia, so it's okay.
Back to the Future, great film. Anyone else?
Film? Just?
TV, whatever. Basically someone who tracked
TV
time.
Doctor Who, obviously.
Number 2, yeah.
Film?
Mm-hmm. I'd be really surprised if you don't mention one. Because you've spoken to me about it before on this.
What? I've told you about a film.
You were like, oh, you should totally watch it, it's really good.
What, Interstellar?
No.
A film about time travel that I told you to watch that isn't Interstellar?
Yeah.
What on earth would that have been?
Bill and Ted.
Oh, yeah, but that's true. Actually.
It's on here.
True, Bill and Ted. Yeah.
Bill and Ted. So.
Bill and Ted. Terminator.
Terminator's the last one. Yeah, nice.
Oh, there's only 4.
Oh yeah, those are like the top 4.
Oh,
so it was those 4, which I thought was a bit weird because Bill and Ted was like on there.
No, but it's true though, because it's something you don't really think about, because you don't really think of it as much of a time traveling film, because even though it literally focuses on time travel the entire time through the film,
it's just so funny.
You don't think about it being a time traveling film.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to say what's the best time traveling film out there at the minute, you'd probably say about Interstellar, probably more than likely. Just solely based on time travel, not because of what the film is like. It
is very good.
Yeah, but it is more to do with the time travel. That's what I'm saying. It's more to do.
It's a lot more to do with relativity.
Yeah. Whereas Bill and Ted, it was to do with time travel itself, where they go back.
Yeah.
In time to get people of certain historic times to come and help them with their history papers.
Yeah, I still need to see it.
Well, that's the basis of the film.
That's the basis. Okay.
But you should watch it. It's so funny.
Cool.
And they're making a new one.
And if you were to think of any other sort of superhero films to do with time travel, what's the...
Well, Doctor Strange is the top one.
Yeah.
Ant-Man? Doesn't really travel through time.
No, he goes in the quantum realm. It's different.
Superhero films
mm-hmm.
that I've watched recently?
I would think relatively recently. It's literally got it in the title that it's about time travel. Do you want me to just tell you what it is?
Yeah.
Days of Future Past.
The X-Men. The X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was crap.
Yeah, but in the comics it was slightly different. So...
Well, you didn't say... You said film?
Yeah, but it was a comic. It was based off the comics. I was trying to see whether you could pick up on the whole title of literally being...
The Days of Future Past.
Yeah. But basically...
It's so annoying that they've done that. They put future and past and that. Stupid people.
But like basically it was from the X-Men comics number 141, 142. Basically it's in dystopian future. Mutants are being hunted by the government.
Yeah.
And what they do is they telepathically send back the mind of an adult called Catherine.
Yeah.
Right. So we haven't actually met her. Catherine Pride. She goes back 30 years into her teenage body, and then she's going to stop the assassination of a US senator, which would basically set that all into motion. And they actually come up with that idea 3 years before the Terminator.
Oh wow.
So they came up with that, and then, as I say, the film came out in 2014 with slightly different, but still pretty good.
Did you enjoy it? Did you?
Yeah, that was alright.
Mm.
I didn't mind it, but I think I don't know. That's a whole different conversation. But
oh no, it is 100%.
basically basically the film changed everything slightly differently, because in the film they used different X-Men, and you've seen the film, you know. It's like,
I just didn't enjoy it because I just didn't hit the satisfaction button on me. So
it's funny because you mentioned earlier as well about parallel universes and stuff.
Yeah.
There's 1957 theory from a physicist called Hugh Everett. He states that time travel could be possible if you have access to one or more universes that exist parallel to ours. So basically Marvel were just like, yep, that's what we're going to use. So having the universes like parallel, so we can just go back through them. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's just crazy that someone can make something like that happen.
Yeah.
Like, Marvel is just insane. I love it so much.
Genius. It's genius. I have a funny feeling Infinity War is going to have time travel.
Oh yeah, well it has to, surely.
Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
It's going to have time travel.
Yeah, it has to, because the whole reason behind the thing was because of Doctor Strange being, we win! Well, I can't say it in case no one's
There's
seen
only one
it.
way. There's
Yeah.
only one way we beat him.
Yeah, I can't say that though.
Out of 14 million. So
But you just said that, so good for you. To be fair, if anybody hasn't seen it right now, then there's something serious
I've
wrong with it.
literally, it comes out in DVD.
You're not a true fan if you have not seen this.
It comes
film.
out in DVD in like a month or a week.
Does it actually?
A week. I
Holy
think it's the end of
crap.
July. Yeah.
That's a bit out for
Or
it.
digital download. Sorry, digital download at the end of the month, and then.
When was it? April.
Yes.
April.
Yeah.
End of April, 29th of April, I think it was.
Roughly.
Crazy how long ago that was now.
Yeah, like over 2 months.
Doesn't feel like
3
it.
months, really? Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it at all.
I know.
That's scary.
I
That's how
know.
time works. We've got some pros and cons here.
Okay.
Pros being like every day is an adventure. So
Yeah,
if you were doing it
pretty
full time,
As a job.
well, I mean, you
Maybe I'm taking my gap time travel year.
Well, I mean, if you were suppose if you were employed by the government and they were like, "Do us a favor."
Yeah, go back and bring Hitler forward, would you? Have a couple of words for him.
Okay, well that's different, but I mean, yeah, if you wanted to do that, but I mean, I suppose they could. I mean, I suppose the government, if you're employed by the government, they would probably send you back to do their bidding, which probably wouldn't be very fun.
That's gonna link to your con, isn't it?
Con?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
No. Well, what would your con? What would your con be from that? You basically ruin everything because of the war, and
There would just be
stop certain-
continual time changes.
yeah.
Because of
But it would be-
causality, if people kept going back and, like, say Russia were like, well, let's go back and unkill JFK and see what happens, but then America realised it was crap, let's go back and kill him again, make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, it would just be a mess.
It'd be a constant thing, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think like if suppose if it would be an adventure if you were to go places like say if you went back to ancient Greece or something, you know.
Yeah.
Ancient,
Seen the Colosseum in Rome.
yeah, as
and
it was then.
Watched a gladiator fight and seen is the Pantheon in Greece, or is that also in Rome? I think it's in Rome. What do you call that big hill in Greece?
Greece Hill. Just sounds like a really bad TV
With
show.
all the stuff on it. It begins with A. Doesn't matter. Can't remember.
Akalapalapolis.
That's something like that. Yeah.
More than likely.
Probably pretty close.
It probably is because everything in Greece is Palopolis, even their players, which is strange.
Going for
But-
Palapolis.
Yeah. But then it says here when you're traveling full time, this phrase could be more relevant. Aside from a basic structure, you literally never know what the next or month is going to bring, which is true because I mean, it's irrelevant. It's just relativity, isn't it? It's each week and each month because it wouldn't matter because it wouldn't, you would never age then because you would always go back in time.
But do you continue to age forwards regardless of what time?
Oh yeah, I would 100% say that would make sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you went back like 40 years and came back to the same time you actually left.
You would, and if you'd stayed
You'd
there for
still-
a year,
Yeah.
but you came back to 2018, would I now be 26?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think
well,
so.
your body would be 26, but you'd probably still be 25. Because you wouldn't celebrate a birthday.
Or would I in
what, a year ago?
Yeah, like
No.
back though, like.
Well, you would probably celebrate one whilst you've been away. Like, say if you were away 40 years ago for 1 year.
But then that's so weird because I would have aged 26 years, but I'd be coming back to 2018, 25.
Yeah.
Even though I've lived for 26 years.
Exactly.
Oh, so weird.
But that's the thing. Then you'd come back and you'd be like, you'd probably forget what age you are. You'd be like, on your 26th birthday, I'm 26. I'm 27.
Well, I've lived 27 years, but I'm considered 26 because I can't change my birth year back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it'd be really strange coming back and then being 26. And then, because usually in theory, what you would do, like, well, I'll just fast forward a year, then I'll not be behind. But then you would be because you'd miss an entire year of your life.
Yeah, like in that
even though you haven't.
film Click.
Yeah. That's a dread. We watched that the other night.
So sad.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh, it's
Brilliant
so sad.
film.
It's
Dreadful.
so sad.
Absolutely dreadful. I was like, it's just so many ups and downs.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that from an Adam Sandler film either.
Whenever he gets like sick and it starts like fast forward and you're like, no,
because it reminds him, and then when he goes to have sex with his wife, it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
it's so bad. Like, but then even like when he tries to talk to his kids and all, it just like fast forwards everything.
Yeah.
And his dad and all comes around, doesn't want to spend time with his family.
It's the worst.
I
And then he
think it's
sees the
terrible.
last time he's seen his dad and he didn't even look up at him.
Yeah. Oh, that's
He's
right.
like, he's like, love you, son.
Yeah, and then sure he pauses it, and then he walks around and says, "I love you too, Dad."
Dad.
I was like, that's just
Ah.
awful.
I haven't
so
seen that
sad.
film in years, but oh my word, that's so sad.
It's such a sad film. But there you go, time rope.
Yeah.
It's time travel for you. Another pro, you get to see more. I suppose it's really like some of the first one because you get
Yeah.
to see literally everything.
Yeah.
If you could fast travel in time, backwards and forwards, you could.
And also, you weren't like, okay, I'm going to travel backwards in time, and next thing you're in 1600s Belfast. You would have to be like, be able to move points. So, like, I'm going to go back to 1600 Rome.
Whilst teleporting as well.
Yeah. Because otherwise, you'd have to be like, right, I'm going to Rome. Why? Well, tomorrow I want to go back to the 1200 BC and see what's going on.
That's a weird thing to do as well.
So
could
you
you
go
imagine?
on holiday, but then you could you could also be like, where are you going? I'm going to Rome. Oh, really? What time period? I don't know, 12 BC.
It'd be so strange because you'd be like, do you know what, I'm going to go back in time to ancient Rome, but in Belfast and just watch it on TV.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do that.
It's like, oh, I'm going to London. When? Oh, 1941. Are you sure you want to do that?
What? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Well, to see what the bombs are like. Yeah. I think this would be terrible, but yeah, you get to see more. I suppose you would get to see the things that we have seen in history books.
Yeah.
I mean, we said earlier on about seeing a rally in Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really good thing to witness, to see what people felt from Hitler being.
Is he as
obviously
charismatic as everyone
and is he
thinks?
as influential as
Apparently.
you know?
But you know what I mean? I know what you mean, sorry. Like, knowing what we know, are we still going to be like, oh my god? Like,
Yeah. Well, I'd still be like, no, obviously, but I mean, it would just be weird to have that sort of impact on, like,
yeah.
because everyone would be around you.
Or the Martin Luther King speech.
Oh, that'd be insane.
Martin Luther King Jr. speech.
Yeah, that'd be
That
incredible.
That'd be incredible to see, wouldn't it?
But then again, I think we'd probably be frowned upon because we wouldn't be.
Yeah, we wouldn't be back.
Yeah, we wouldn't be very happy living in that time of period. Apparently,
Us?
no, they wouldn't be very happy.
Oh
with
no,
us.
no, they would not. Or seeing Rosa Parks not stand up on the bus. Be amazing.
What, not get thinged?
No, like Rosa Parks was like, she was the first recorded black woman not to refuse to stand up and let a white man sit down on a bus
Oh yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
And she basically was like, no, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
And the police got called and she got arrested and stuff for not standing up and giving this guy.
It'd be weird to see as well because obviously nowadays and what thankfully what life is like now.
Can you imagine
compared to
seeing a
what it'd be.
bus that had a white section and a coloured section?
Yeah. But then a coloured bar and a white bar and a coloured
So messed up.
coloured library. Why did they call them coloured? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so
horrible.
strange.
I don't know. But like, if you think of going to see all this stuff, you'd realise how far we've came, but also how far we haven't.
Yeah, because it wasn't that long ago.
No,
Yeah.
mad. But anyway, sorry, carry on with your proof.
And like walking into the bar as well, but then you wouldn't be welcome. But then what happens if you're okay? What happens if you weren't
It
racist?
doesn't matter.
Did
I really don't think it would matter.
I don't know. Because then it turns out that Ben being racist towards you.
Yeah, but I think that's just as, you know, we don't know. You're not just gonna rip the piss.
Yeah, it's true actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird to be ignorant.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it would be awful.
Especially in that time period as well. You'd be so confused. You'd be like, I'm not harmful.
I don't do this.
I'm sorry. And then you'd be like, you're just joking. Oh, so sorry. The mind-opening potential.
Yeah.
Which could literally mean anything. You could go back in time and bring a...
Well, think of what you've just been speaking about.
Well,
We've been thinking about seeing segregation, seeing, Nazi Germany,
and having the opinions we have of now as well.
And just being like, oh my goodness, like going back then and being in that rally and going, oh my word, like he is really charismatic. Like I get why this happened.
Yeah.
Well, not why it happened, but why people did what he wanted, or whatever. Like that's what I think that would sort of be like. Oh wow.
Well, you'd certainly learn something like. But the problem is you couldn't really bring it back and tell people. Unless it was, of course, it was an actual bring a camera. Oh, what's this guy doing? 1940. Oh, hello, 19th. Oh, hello.
What's this? Don't worry about that.
Is that a real thing? No, it's just a cardboard box, just. Oh, okay. But I mean, but we always talk about like the past because that's all we know. Yeah. Whereas in the future, I would love to go like 30 years in the future and be like, is there an Xbox 412? Or is there like a TV?
Or have Apple overtaken that with
as a called pair now or something?
Yeah.
But it's something I would love to like. Obviously, we don't know yet. Yeah. But it'd be class to go like 30 years or 40 years in the future and see if we are actually living on Mars.
Based on today's findings, possibly.
Yeah, was it like 12-kilometer lake or something they found or something?
But the only reason that we basically can't live on Mars at the moment is because the atmosphere was too thin. It broke down. Like there used to be water everywhere on that planet. Yeah. So. But
then again, 40 years from now, you never know what might happen.
They might have more atmosphere. Might have fixed it.
Well, if I went there, there'd be more atmosphere. That's for sure.
I wouldn't be allowed.
No, too many negative energy. That's the thing.
You're creating wormholes everywhere.
But could you imagine that be your superpower? Wormhole!
That'd be amazing.
No, it wouldn't.
It would.
How would it be amazing?
You want to go see something in time? Yeah, watch. Jump in there. Oh, there you go. There's your thing in time.
But then you could ruin the future or the past.
What I want? My superpower?
So you're going to say to anybody in the world, do you want to see
something?
Not
free. It's not free.
So you're going to take money off it as well?
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
So you're going to take money off people to go and wreck the world, basically?
No.
Good for... Yes.
It's nothing to do with what they do when they're in there.
Of course it is. You just pay. You got paid
I'll
for
give them the rules. Don't touch anything.
What are the rules? Cons, you'll miss your home comforts. I don't think I would. No. If I could travel in time...
If it's only like a week on like holiday in time...
But it wouldn't matter because
that would be a great film,
What, a holiday in time?
Yeah, where like you see them go.
You go to Barbados.
No, but like instead of like, it could be like a film about people that don't just go like abroad, but they go like we say abroad. Oh, which time period? Yeah. Oh, the Jurassic period. And there's like crazy dinosaurs and all.
So just Jurassic Park then.
Well, no, but I mean like. That's not where they would go, but like say they'd be like, oh, where are you going? I'm going to America in the 60s, and then like the teenagers spend their gap year going around all these different time periods.
It'd be cool, like.
Be a good film.
It'd be a good film, yeah. Probably.
Trademark, do not take that, anyone.
It's probably already made though.
No, it's not.
It probably already is, and we're just waiting for it to come out.
Well, if it is, I've said this on a recording, so.
That's true actually, and this is the year 1983, so
I created a wormhole and we went back.
It's it's hard to form lasting relationships. Not if you bring them with you. Come on, jump in my little time machine.
Use your man's. What are you gonna say? Tripod. Use the wee man's clock because that brought everyone in his vicinity with him. Yeah. Remember in the book from earlier. Anyway.
Well, that would be a strange one then. Don't know if you could form.
But then you'd have to be like, oh, I have to go back so many years.
Yeah,
and you'd be twisting this clock for hours.
That'd be terrible. But then again, just do what your man did. Captain America, just forget about them. Sorry, Peggy. Bye-bye. Oh, nice. The future is very uncertain. Because obviously you go back in time. Yeah. But then again, the future's uncertain at the minute.
It'd be no fun if the future was certain.
Yeah. But that's a big con apparently according to an awful lot of people that took this.
Okay.
And that's the three. That's the three pros and the three cons.
Cool.
not great ones. Like, I mean, they're all sort of one and the same. They're all like, well, you can't do that without doing this, and you can't do this without doing that.
It's just all causality.
Yeah,
that's what they're thinking.
Which is a real problem because you're just taking the fun out of time travel. So stop it.
Yeah.
Time we on. I don't want to do this too fast or anything, but the quiz.
Yeah.
There's like 14 questions. So, what fascinates you most, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literature, history, world events, science, or astronomy?
Science.
Science, okay. What do you worry the most about with time travel? Changing the world, chasing the future of the world, changing my own course of events, getting stuck in a certain time, knowing my own future, or knowing how the world ends?
First one.
Changing the future of the world?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, don't be doing that on me. There we go. When it comes to technology, you resist most of it. Stick with what works, even if it's a bit old. Stay fairly modern, or on the cutting edge, or dying for new crazy inventions.
Wait, is that 5 options?
Mm-hmm.
What was the last 2?
Are you on the cutting edge, or are you dying for new crazy inventions?
I don't know. I quite like having like new things, but
So say if you got the iPhone, what is it now, 10?
Yeah.
Say if it was something new next year, it'd be the iPhone 11. You want to get it, right?
I would, but like I would probably be like, well, my contract's not up, so I'll have to wait.
Well, what if it was?
Well, then yeah, I would get it.
So you were dying for new. I don't know if you were dying for new crazy inventions.
No, I'm good with the 10.
So we're on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good with the 10
Okay.
at the moment.
How do you feel about regrets? Regrets.
What's that?
Hang on a minute. It's just being a pain.
Oh.
A lot of my past actions influence my life. I don't think about them, but they do influence current decisions, or I'm past regrets at this point.
First one.
A lot of my past actions influence my life.
Yeah.
So we'll go make sure all these other ones are actually working as well. Yeah, they are.
Okay, good.
It's completely broken. I don't understand what it's doing on me. What would you like to take with you in your time travels? A sandwich, a notebook to record all my observations, a camera so I can remember everything I've seen, or a sword to defend yourself.
Camera.
Don't know why you bring a sword.
Because what you would do is you would turn the flash on, and if somebody came at you with a sword, you'd be like, "Flash!" And then you'd show them the picture and be like, "It's your soul. You can't kill me, or it stays in there." And they would be like, "Oh no!
What is this device?
I'm gonna put you in the bin."
Yeah, a sandwich. Like, that's just stupid. So a camera you bring me?
Yeah.
I would agree. That's what I picked as well.
Could use it as a weapon also.
Yeah. But throw it up.
No, flash, and
The
then be like,
flash.
"Hey, look, you're in the camera now," and they'd be like,
Oh no! Could you imagine? No! Do you feel like you were born to live in these times? Not really. Less and less as time goes on. Absolutely, why wouldn't I? More and more as we progress, or not really. Our current culture bores me, frankly.
I don't know. Just I'm alright with it. I think third one probably. What was the third one?
Absolutely.
Well, there's no like. I don't really have a choice. So.
I put not really because I don't like the culture that we're living in.
Yeah, well, probably. Yeah, I mean.
So that one.
Yeah. I mean,
Which one do you want? Absolutely.
Well, I don't think absolutely no, because.
Okay, well, less and less as time.
Like,
goes
I'm
on.
fine not having like Facebook and stuff. If I didn't have it, I'd be like, okay, I don't need that.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway. Yeah.
Okay. So absolutely.
No, the last one.
Not really.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll soon see. We'll soon see what you say of these next couple ones anyway.
Okay.
What do you search for most in life? Wealth, happiness, adventure, love, solitude, or fame?
Happiness.
Good lad.
Because they all go almost hand in hand. Anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you daydream about? No, there's nothing naughty.
Oh, no, okay.
My next holiday, my significant other. Fantastical lands or outer space.
Space.
I would agree. I think we're going to be pretty much the same here.
Okay.
In your opinion, what's the most important thing to society the most important thing a society needs to thrive? Individual liberty, social justice, economic freedom, access to education, affordable healthcare, or security and defense?
Education.
We're going to be the same, I think.
You joking?
No. Your ideal time travel partner is extremely knowledgeable, emotionally stable and savvy, already well travelled in the conventional sense, curious about how things will unfold, adventurous and up for anything.
Last one. You joking? You picked that one as well?
Yeah. How would you describe your style?
Okay.
This is there we go. How's it right? So vintage, I love old things. Classic, my taste never goes out of style. Contemporary, I like to be up to date. Trendy, if it's new and cool, I gotta have it. And modern, I prefer to look ultra minimalistic and sleek.
I don't know, whatever the third one was, I think.
Contemporary, I like to be up to date.
Yeah.
Okay. Which version of yourself would you most like to meet? Myself in the past life, myself as a child, myself in the present in an alternate timeline, myself when I'm older, or myself as a cyborg or even artificial intelligence.
Future me.
So myself when I'm older?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to make sure it's went alright.
So it went alright?
Yeah.
Okay, showing the results. Here we go. Still not doing it.
Oh.
It's taking forever. You should
know,
travel. Oh, okay. We're not the exact same.
Okay.
We should travel to the near future. I was distant future whenever I did
okay.
that. Always up to date on all the latest technologies and trends. You like to live in the future, and you can't wait to see what's in store over the next few years and decades that you'll kill for a sneak peek. You're most excited for the future that you, your family, and friends will all live in. You'd love to travel around and see how things turn out. Why bother traveling so far to the future that you don't know anyone? If you won't be there to experience it, you don't care. You'd love to take in the near future, but why wouldn't you tell anyone what you saw? Why ruin the surprise? It doesn't make any sense.
So in other words, I wouldn't be like, here, by the way, you shave.
In like 30 years. You'd be content to hang out and watch what unfolds, then return with the knowledge of what's to come.
Cool.
There you go.
I'd say that's probably not far wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest.
Mine was distant future. I wouldn't want to do the near future because I just think that's too close for me to be like.
But whenever I say near future, I'm thinking like 30 years. Yeah. Whenever I'm like done, whenever I've had the part that you're supposed to like.
I'd be like 200, 300 years probably.
Yeah.
Distant future, maybe 1,000 years. You never know.
Could be.
But we've got a few urban legends, and I'm sure I know you've probably heard of a couple anyway. But the Chaplin's time traveler.
Chaplin's time traveler.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a woman appearing on the circus. Charlie Chaplin's thing from years and years and years ago. It's like she's holding something on her left ear with the left hand. So it says here in October 2010, Northern Irish filmmaker. Way!
Seriously?
Yeah, Northern Irish filmmaker George Clark uploaded a video clip entitled Chaplin's Time Travel to YouTube. The clip analyses bonus material in a DVD of the Charlie Chaplin film The Circus. Included in the DVD footage from the Los Angeles film premiere Grauman's Chinese Theatre in 1928.
Which is now the TCL Chinese Theatre. First time it's ever been owned by a Chinese company.
Well, there you go. Clues in the name. Happy days.
Yeah.
At one point, a woman is seen walking by, holding up an object to her ear. Clark said that on closer examination that she was talking into a thin black device that appeared to be a phone. Clark concluded that the one was possibly a time traveller. LOL. The clip received millions of hits and was the subject of televised news stories, which is just incredible because if anybody put that on the news and genuinely thought it was news, then they deserve to be slapped and sacked.
Are there pictures? Like, are there
of
pictures?
The woman? There's a picture of the woman. I'll show you after I finish here.
Well, put them on Instagram and stuff as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think the second one's photoshopped like for this other one, but we'll have people's opinions as well. Nicholas Jackson, associate editor of The Atlantic, says the most likely answer is that she was using a portable hearing aid, a technology that was just being developed at the time. Philip Skroska, an archivist at the Bernard Becker Medical Library of Washington University in St. Louis, thought that the woman might have been holding a rectangular ear trumpet.
What's that?
I'm assuming that must be some sort of
hearing device, not like something that would be like whenever she's like walking around.
Yeah, maybe something like that anyway. I mean,
she holds her nose and
I can always click on it and see what it actually says. Ear trumpets are a tubular funnel shaped device which collects sound waves.
Okay, so so she would help her hear. Yeah.
New York Daily News writer Michael Sheridan said the device was probably an early hearing aid, perhaps manufactured by Acousticon. So, being technically debunked, it's a hearing aid.
Yeah,
from that time.
That makes sense.
But
probably trying to hear what was going on.
You can just about see her there.
Oh yeah, I see that. Fair enough. Yeah, cool.
And there's another one, present day hipster at 1941 bridge opening.
Present day hipster. Of course they would be.
It just looks so fake. It's unbelievable though. It's crazy.
You got it there?
Yeah, I've got the picture. Do you want to see the picture now? Or
come on, see it. Just see whether I think it's fake. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Why is nobody looking at him going like, what are you wearing that for?
Yeah, literally. I mean, the only person looking at him is this woman over here, and she looks like she's just been used to something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
A photograph from 1941 of genuine authenticity. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Of the reopening of the South. I'm sure the picture is, but obviously it's not. It's Photoshop, clearly. I think it is anyway. Of the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Gold Bridge, British Columbia, was alleged to show a time traveller. It was claimed that his clothing and sunglasses were of the present day and not of the styles worn in the well,
it doesn't look like the style. 1940s. That looks like now, look.
Yeah, but the glasses and the sunglasses are very, very like.
See that again?
The sunglasses are very like
old timey.
Yeah, like sort of like like steampunk. They look like goggles that have been.
You know, see the more you look at the way that's made.
Yeah.
The jacket and stuff, it doesn't really look modern.
Yeah, but you got a T-shirt on though.
Yeah.
Which is a big W in it.
I don't know. That's.
I don't think they would have had the.
It's not time. I have to admit, it's scientifically proven that it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But government so. Further research suggested that the present day appearance of the man may not have been so new.
Okay.
Here we go. The style of sunglasses first appeared in the 1920s.
Okay.
On first glance, the man is taken by many to be wearing a printed T-shirt, but on a closer inspection, it seems to be a sweater.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a sewn-on emblem, the kind of clothing often worn by sports teams of the period.
Okay.
The shirt is very similar to the one that was used by the Montreal Maroons on an ice hockey team from that era.
Okay, and that is British Columbia, is obviously Canada.
Yeah, but is that an M or is that a W? It's definitely a W.
It's hard to tell unless he was to be a wee bit more Superman with it and open it up.
Yeah. An ice hockey. Okay, so yeah, the remainder of his clothing would appear to have been available at the time. Those clothes are far more casual than those worn. Well, you can tell by the individuals. Debate centers on whether the image genuinely shows a time traveler has been photo manipulated. Okay. There you go. Or is simply being mistaken as anachronistic. The time traveling hipster, always love that, became a case study in viral internet phenomena in museums, which was presented at the Museum of and the Web 2011 conference in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And then there was, of course, there's loads in here, but I'll talk about the one that was most recent. I'm pretty sure anyway. Which was the Swedish fella that I'm surprised because I think we talked about this before as well. I've seen it ages ago. Basically, he made a video saying that he met himself. So he went like 30 years into the future, 40 years into the future. So in 2006, he was fixing a kitchen sink, and he got transported to 2046. So 40 years into the future, and he found his 70-year-old self, and recorded a video with himself, which is weird. Says he filmed the short footage of the two smiling, hugging each other, and showing the tattoo they had in their right arm. The story was reportedly a marketing campaign promoting the pension plans of the insurance company AMF. So it just goes to show that people can literally do, especially in this day and age as well. And it obviously wasn't photoshopped. Yeah. Or there was no CGI in it because all they did was just find a fella that looked like some other fella, 70 years older, and draw a tattoo on him, and then just sort of which is strange. I think the video's online somewhere. Like you'll probably be like, oh, it's weird. Yeah. But we know it's not real. Yeah, but it does look kind of cool all the same, like. But yeah, for sure. I've got loads here if you want one more. I mean, there's a couple here, like, but I can maybe do the one with Osama bin Laden. What? Scary. I haven't heard this. Right. Okay. Andrew Carlson was reportedly arrested in March 2003 for SEC violations for making 126 high-risk stock trades and being successful in every single one of them. Why would you be arrested for that? Well, here we go. Okay. As reported, Carlson started with an initial investment of $800 and ended with over $350 million. Which obviously drew the attention of the SEC. That's a lot of money for me. That's nuts. Later reports suggest that after his arrest, he submitted a 4-hour confession wherein he claimed to be a time traveler from 200 years in the future. Which, I mean, to be fair, making $800 into $350 million. How quickly did it say? No, just as 126. He's going to be in some mental hospital now after saying that. Well, he offered to tell investigators such things as the whereabouts of Osama bin Laden and the cure for AIDS. in return for a lesser punishment and to be allowed to return to his time craft. Although he refused to tell investigators the location or workings of his craft. As you would.
Yeah.
The Carson story allegedly originated as a fictional piece in the Weekly World News, a satirical newspaper, and was later repeated by Yahoo News, where its fictitious nature became less apparent. It was soon reported by other newspapers and magazines as fact.
So was this real or not?
Well, I mean, no one really knows.
Did he tell them where Osama bin Laden was, and did they get him because of him?
You never know, but there's no cure for AIDS at the minute.
Is there?
There's well, we don't know, but there's certainly a prevention for one, I suppose.
Yeah,
in some way, shape or form, yeah. This in turn drove word of mouth spread through email boxes and internet forums, leading to far more detailed description of events. But yet of all, there are no detailed descriptions of the events. But turning $800 into $350 million.
Well, if he's been arrested, that's bound to have gone to court, so that has to be somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, that case will be, unless they've just been like, right, okay, actually that was where Osama bin Laden was, there's your $350 million, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Never do that again.
Yeah. But I just don't understand what would have happened then, because that's fair, surely.
Why?
You
know what he's been arrested for? Probably like insider trading or something, that they're assuming that he's cheating.
Yeah, but then what if he wasn't and he just genuinely made $800 into $350 million?
Then he's a genius.
I just think it's crazy.
Well, that's sort of like whenever you start with a £1 bet and then eventually you have 10 grand. Those things on Facebook.
Yeah, but $800 to $350 million. I mean, it's a bit different, like, isn't it?
Yeah, that's broken, like. That's unbelievable.
Well, we'll leave it there anyway, and you can everyone can have their own opinion on that one and each and every one of them. But I enjoyed this one for the just pure craziness of all these urban legends and stuff. It's absolutely
hurts a wee bit as well.
But hopefully you guys have enjoyed it as well, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye bye.